Okay, so let's look at having multiple dancers. I know one team has more than one character, but it would also be cool for teams to be looking at adding more than one version or more than one of the same character over and over again. So if we wanted two demo dudes, then what we could do is we could take this demo dude and actually you can do it a couple different ways. You can go into the avatars folder and just grab demo dude and drag another copy in. Names it demo dude 1, demo dude 2. So one has motion on it and the other doesn't have motion on it. If we wanted to put motion on it, the new one needs its own track. So I'm going to click the demo dude, drag it here, animation track. And then, because I like to put stuff together, I'm going to drag this up under the original one. So again, still not doing anything because he doesn't have any motion in the track. I think we can select, I'm trying to remember if I've done this, all the clips. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to click here and click paste. And it did it perfectly. Okay, so now it looks like we only have one because they are sitting exactly on top of each other, right? Exactly. So we can do some cool tricks here. We could actually zoom in and just do a slight, offset, right? Where one's dancing and the other one is just a little bit behind it. Cool. All right, that looks pretty sweet. That's easy to do. So doing duplicate dancers, the dancer could show up or not. One thing that I've done before also with this is the idea of having a dancer who shows up intermittently. Early in one of the videos, I told you that you could turn objects on and off, like Jody here, for example, by using this checkbox. And that is called Set Active. We have a thing we can create here called an activation track. So let's say that we wanted this second demo dude to be moving slightly offset, but we also wanted it to maybe flicker in and out a little bit. We can create a track to tell it essentially when to exist and when not to exist. So I'm going to take demo dude again, click and drag, and I'm going to make an activation track. And I'm going to click that up underneath it so that they're together. So this clip that it makes here is indicating when that is active. And anywhere that it's not, it will disappear. So I'm going to shorten this clip up a lot, and then I'm going to zoom back in because we're going to use little chunks of this. Actually, I zoomed in a little too far. Let me bring that down a little more. Okay, so let's say we wanted it to kind of be here and then go away. So here we have one, and see how it like appears and then it disappears. Well, now we can take this activation, and we can copy it, and we can paste it, and then move the playhead, paste it, move the playhead, paste it. You could even like grab multiple, copy, paste, and it will paste all of them. So now we have a pretty cool effect. Okay. And you could flicker that in and out. Then you can also do other fun stuff like you could take this clip that's following on. Let's say we actually took this clip. I'm going to move these back and I'm going to line them up perfectly so that they're back on top of each other and I can't tell. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to make it move slightly slower. So instead of 0.1, I'm going to tell it to move 0.9. It doesn't take that much. You can see it jumped quite a bit. And this one's 0.7. I'm going to go 0.69. Maybe 0.65. Okay. And now they're going to just start to separate a little bit, and then over time they're going to separate more and more because of their sort of time offset. So it's a little bit more of an extreme version of that. And you can combine these, like you don't have to do the flicker in and out. You could turn that track off and just play with the time offset, so it's there all the time. All right, cool. Other things that you can do, and one thing that's a little bit tricky, I'm going to show you this in case anybody wants to do more of an arrangement of characters. If I wanted to have a new version of the demo dude, but I wanted it to, let's say, be back to back with the original one. Like, all right, so here we are, we've got both of them. And let's say, just for argument, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete this and I'm just gonna copy and paste all those again. Oops, undo. And I'll make sure my playhead's at 0 and it pastes it right together, perfectly on top of each other. So we want the new demo dude, let's say, to be back to back with this one. So I could take this clip, go to my transform offset that we looked at a couple videos earlier, click on that, move the second demo dude back, and then use the rotate tool. All right, so it does that, but once we get to the next clip, it doesn't hold anymore. So you'd have to do this for every single clip, which honestly is a pain in the butt. You could use the select a bunch and do the match offsets to previous clip, but we knew we did have a little bit of a floating issue, and that worked. That's okay, but nope, we got the floating. So you have to go back and readjust all those again. Okay, so if you want to take a motion and you want to have versions of it that are exactly the same, and you want to maintain the offsets that you've built, there is a little trick that you can do. All right, I'm going to delete that. What that is when we take someone who has motion capture data on them, we copy, paste this clean one more time here, right? So if I take demo dude 1 and move it, and I start to drag, it goes back because the information is telling it to be in that spot. But if we make it a child of another object, because right now it's the child of the world, we need to make it a child of any other object, and we can move and rotate the other object. So I'm going to go over here in my hierarchy, right click, and I'm going to create empty. So this is just an object that lets me indicate a sort of a location in space. And I'm going to call it, I don't know, dude2. And I'm going to position this a little bit. So I want to put it more or less where demo dude is. So I am going to, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to make it a child of demo dude 1. Then I'm going to set its position to 0, 0, 0, and its rotation to 0. So now it has adopted the position and rotation of this object, which is what we want. And I'm going to pull it back out. So now this and this are in exactly the same spot. Then I'm going to take my demo dude, the actual demo dude, and I'm going to put it as a child. And sometimes I might even do something like here, like call this like dude2 parent, or sometimes I use the term loc for a locator. If I click and drag, nothing has really changed much. Oh, it has because we have some offsets on there. Okay, so what I should be able to do then is take this demo dude 2. Let me make sure that this works the way that I want. Hold on one second. I'm going to delete this. Oh, we are offset. Oh, that's interesting. All right. Okay, I'm going to do this again because sometimes the parenting can be a little tricky, and I don't expect you to get this. So I'm going to do this again so that it's correct. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to right-click and choose Create Empty. And we'll call it dude2 loc. And then I'm going to put it as a child of this one. And I'm going to say 0, 0, 0. And 0. And so what happened when I did this before is when I pulled this out, it rotated itself. I don't know. I'm not going to explain it. You don't want to know. It's not correct. It's in the right spot, but it's just a tiny bit off. So once I pull this out, I'm going to go ahead and set these all back to 0, including this. And then I'm going to make the demo dude a child. Okay. Now what this means is when I click and drag, they're right on top of each other again. But now I can take the the dude2 loc, and I can move it. And it stays in a separate spot because now it's a child of this locator, not a child of the world. If I were to grab the demo dude that's the child and I move it and I click and drag, it will pop back to the spot where it's supposed to be relative to its parent. So it's part of figuring out how you position things in 3D space and on the computer. All right, so now that this is the case, they're perfect, they're right on top of each other. What I can do is take this parent locator and I can move it here, and then I can rotate it around. All right. And this will maintain all the animation and do all that. So now they are perfectly sort of parallel to each other. So you could make a ring of them, you could make a line of them. It's kind of fun when they pass through each other, right? And so we've got it perfectly lined up. So as your piece is coming together, you may have to flag me down to, number one, walk you back through this again, and or just to help you set it up. I don't expect you to remember how to set all the details for this. So these videos are meant more to give you, number one, a bit of instruction so that you can watch these before you start and have a little bit of an idea of what you're getting into and kind of where things are. And then also to give you a little bit of a sense of what you can do so that as you sit down and start to work, as the piece starts to come together, that you'll have some ideas to go with. And also, I left this bit in the video of me making a mistake because even I make mistakes, right? Sometimes, my son's sending me messages. So I don't want you to worry about that too much, right? It's complicated software and it takes a while to get used to it. And so you'll do things wrong, and that's just fine, right? Particularly because you're learning, and we just want to get to the end goal of having a cool piece to look at. All right, this is probably enough material for you guys to check out over the weekend. If anybody's watching this and they have any questions while they're watching it, like, hey, how would I do this? Or how would I do that? Or I have an idea now that I've seen this and we did our motion capture. Can you tell me how to do this? Then that's something that I could look at and have something maybe prepared for by the time we get together on Tuesday. So looking forward to hearing back from everybody, and look forward to see what everybody makes.